What happened in many ways has given me back my father and my mom and my siblings who died. Now I read, it takes me back to Cambodia about a sad time, but now when I think about them, I think mostly about a happy time. So yeah, in a way, it's a personal justice for me. I keep them alive. The book is being used in universities to teach students. So hopefully something like this will not happen again in the world, and other people don't have to suffer what we had to endure. Angka, which means the organization, suddenly became your parents, your God. I could not address my mom as Ma. I have to address her Ma in secret. The Khmer Rouge, in the name of Angka, abolished family intimacy, separated family members. They sent men and women to forced labor camps, including children, ages 7 and up. I worked from 10 to 12 hours, and I, like many children, was a walking skeleton. Starving to death in Cambodia means every waking hour I thought about food. Yeah, mostly we only ate leaves and just insects and mouse or rats, scorpions, centipedes. I guess anything you could, anything at all that was edible. And when I went to work in the woods, and if I was lucky to find crickets or a mouse, I would skin a mouse, and then you either use a stick to kind of roast it on the fire, or you just throw it in there and then dig it out from the ash and eat. In spite of the pain and the suffering the Khmer Rouge inflicted upon me, they could not take away the better part of me. I am as optimistic, loving, and spunky as ever. And I'm going to take some questions from you, and if you don't, I'll decide to give you a pop quiz.
I just salute you and your strength.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Well, in May of 1970, my unit with the 1st Cavalry Division, the United States Army, was sent from an area not too far from the Vietnamese-Cambodian border into Cambodia. And this was part of the 2-month incursion into Cambodia to cut off trails and routes that the Viet Cong were using to get into the southern part of Vietnam.
Did you feel any hate, or how did you feel?
I felt fear, thinking that when we moved into Cambodia, we would be running into a much greater enemy force. Basically, myself and the other members of my platoon, who were the soldiers who were closest to me, felt fear. I was lucky to leave Cambodia and Vietnam with just 3 holes in my body. I was shot, and I had B-40 shrapnel in my body when I came back. Well, you people had your country almost devastated. And I feel great guilt about that. That I grew up with an ideal from John Wayne that we could save people. We could save beautiful women like you, great guys like this. We could save the world. And I feel so terrible that I left Vietnam and Cambodia.
That sense of guilt, Well, thank you for being here.
But the remedy still remains to be found. We haven't found a remedy yet. There's apathy. You saw the audience out here. They can't get back. They can't wait to get back to their computers and their own little worlds.
What is your definition of reconciliation?
Oh, wow, that's a very nice word. to make peace with your enemy. Once you argue or whatever, you try to reconcile it back your problem. Understanding is the solution.
Do you believe in that?
In certain ways. Yeah, not 100%, but in certain ways.
I still have mental scar, but because I understand that if they knew better, they would not have done that. Because I understand that, I realize that I need to forgive them, those people who killed my father. I think through reconciliation, you can close the chapter of the past, and move on and start a new chapter.
I will never forgive bin Laden. He took a lot of people in this world. And I feel that he's what he did was wrong. I will never forgive him because he took friends of mine, took people I knew, and it's so sad. What he did was heinous. He did it right out of the open. I cannot forgive what he did. He took people that I cared about.
All I can see is those planes hitting it. And that's enough for me. I feel like it hit me, hit some part of my body. Forgive? Oh my God. They had to be sick. They had to be sick. They knew just where that plane was to hit and do all that damage. Do you realize that?
How did you feel with the 11th of September? Did you feel a trauma?
You know, in some ways it was very strange. I was not as anxious as a lot of people. And then I realized that I had been through things. And one of the things that made me a little bit different, feel different, was that during the Nazi period, I was singled out. I was, a target, a specific target. And now, if anything would happen again, I wouldn't be a specific target. I would be one of everybody. And I think that made a difference.
Yes, we have lived in agony in the garden for 6 months.
Exactly 6 months ago, on Tuesday, September 11th, New York City.
I think often people think of hate as a kind of antagonism, a wanting to hurt or destroy other people. But I think in fact, it's hatred to care only about yourself and be indifferent to the impact that caring has on other people. So much of the destruction, like Pol Pot's destruction, I don't think he hated these people. He just destroyed them because he had a vision of what things should be, and he swept people out of his way. Hannah Arendt, in her discussion of Eichmann, talked about the banality of evil, and I think that's true hatred when you simply do not care.
And how do you see reconciliation?
See, that's the harder one, because it requires us to see things in the world from someone else's perspective. You can't just see your own point of view. You have to see things from the other point of view. And if we learn anything after September 11th and the turmoil that that's put this country in and our relationships with other people, is that we cannot just stay with our own perspective. Everyone in their own mind is a good person who tries hard and is kind to the people they care about. And as a country, America is a good country that cares about other people. Obviously, there are people who don't see it like that, who see America as such a bad thing that dying to hurt America is an honor. If we don't learn to understand that perspective, we cannot reconcile as a planet, as a people. And I think that's what reconciliation has to be.
I've been looking for answers, and I received so many, which I will never forget. I have seen people's faces, and I've heard their stories. Will we ever be able to forgive the tremendous pain we are inflicting on one another? Will we be able to find common ground despite our different beliefs and the color of our skin?